Hello and good night. Welcome to another bedtime story. This story is meant to help you sleep or to relax your mind. Try and find a comfortable place, such as your bed or a soft chair. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes now. Try and let go of the day as we begin our tale. Tonight's story is The 12 Huntsmen. Once upon a time, in a grand and prosperous kingdom, there was a young prince who had given his heart to a beautiful princess from a neighboring land. Their love was pure and unwavering, and they had pledged themselves to one another in secret, dreaming of a future where they could rule side by side. However, fate is often unkind to lovers, and a cruel twist soon separated them. The prince's father, the wise but aging king, fell gravely ill. Knowing that his days were numbered, he summoned his son to his bedside and spoke in a voice frail but firm. "My son, I do not have long in this world, and I must ensure the stability of our kingdom before I pass. You must marry the princess of the Eastern Kingdom. This alliance will strengthen our land and bring peace between our nations. Swear to me that you will do this." The prince's heart clenched in sorrow. He longed to protest, to declare that he had already given his heart to another, but he also knew his duty. His father's last wish weighed heavily upon him, and with a bowed head he whispered, "I promise, father." Thus, he left his beloved behind, traveled to the Eastern Kingdom, where he was soon engaged to the foreign princess. He did not love her, nor did his heart stir for her as it had for his true love. But honor bound him to his word, and he resolved to fulfill his father's dying wish. When the princess, his first love, heard of this engagement, she was devastated. But she was not one to wallow in despair. Her love was steadfast, and she would not let fate decide her future without a fight. With unwavering resolve, she devised a plan, calling upon 11 of her most loyal ladies-in-waiting, each of whom was of similar height and build. She declared, "If fate has chosen to separate us, then I shall defy it with my own hands." Together, they cut their long tresses and donned the garb of huntsmen, disguising themselves as men. In this way, they set off toward the prince's kingdom. Upon arriving at the royal court, the 12 disguised women presented themselves before the king and requested positions as royal huntsmen. The king, though wary at first, was impressed by their skill and bearing. He welcomed them into his service, oblivious to their true identities. Days turned into weeks, and the 12 huntsmen quickly proved themselves to be the finest in the kingdom. They rode with precision, their arrows never missing their mark, and their hands wielded swords as expertly as any knight. None suspected that beneath their hunting garb lay the delicate hands and graceful forms of noble women. The prince, though bound by duty to another, found himself strangely drawn to the leader of the huntsmen. Her mannerisms, the way she held herself, even the light in her eyes, it all felt hauntingly familiar. He could not shake the sense that he knew her from somewhere, deep in his soul. Sensing the prince's growing curiosity, the king devised a test. He placed 12 spinning wheels in the huntsmen's quarters, believing that if they were truly men, they would pay them no heed. However, if they were women, their instincts would betray them. When the 12 huntsmen entered their chambers, their eyes fell upon the spinning wheels. For a moment, they hesitated, memories of their girlhood surfacing. But their leader, the disguised princess, clenched her fists and strode past without faltering. The others followed her lead, passing the test with their secret intact. Yet still, the prince's heart was uneasy. He could not understand why the sight of this huntsman stirred within him emotions he had buried long ago. His love, the foreign princess, grew anxious as well, for she noticed his lingering gaze and the uncertainty in his voice whenever he spoke of the huntsman. One evening, as the foreign princess walked in the royal gardens, she came upon 2 doves perched upon a fountain. The birds cooed softly to each other, unaware of their eavesdropper. "The prince's true love is near," one dove murmured. "Yes," the other agreed. "She is disguised among the huntsmen." The princess's heart clenched in fear. She had suspected something was amiss, but now she knew for certain. That very night, she went to the king and implored him to test the huntsman once more. The king, ever trusting of his future daughter-in-law, agreed. This time, he ordered 12 bowls of peas to be scattered across the floor of their quarters. A true man would walk through them without care, he mused. A woman, accustomed to tidiness, would instinctively stoop to gather them. When the huntsmen entered, their leader, the disguised princess, noticed the scattered peas at once. For a brief moment, she felt the urge to kneel and gather them. But her love was stronger than instinct. With deliberate steps, she walked across the room without hesitation, her boots crunching over the peas. The others followed, passing the second test. Still, the prince could not banish his doubts. His heart ached with an inexplicable longing. He needed to know the truth. Summoning the leader of the huntsmen to his chambers, the prince gazed into their eyes. "Have we met before?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "There's something about you that feels known to me." The princess could bear it no longer. Tears welled in her eyes as she removed her hat, letting her short, cropped locks tumble free. "It is I," she confessed. "I could not bear to lose you." The prince reeled in shock, then in joy. His heart, which had been in turmoil for so long, finally found peace. He embraced her, whispering words of love and longing. In that moment, he knew he could not marry another. He would not let duty dictate his heart any longer. The prince went to his father and revealed the truth. The king, though initially troubled, saw the depth of his son's love and recognized the devotion of the woman who had risked everything to be with him. The foreign princess, seeing the undeniable bond between them, stepped aside with grace. "I would not wish to be married to a man whose heart belongs to another," she said. "May you both find happiness." The prince and the princess were wed in a grand celebration. The 11 loyal maidens were honored, and the kingdom rejoiced. Peace was secured, not through forced alliance, but through love and understanding. And so, the prince and his beloved ruled wisely and well, proving that true love and perseverance can triumph over duty and fate, and they lived happily ever after. The end. Thank you for listening to this bedtime story. I hope you enjoyed the tale tonight. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more audiobooks and tales to come. Until next time.